Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are and what time it is where you're joining us from. This is Zoliswa Tshetshe, and I welcome you to Mindset Monday. If you happen to be in the same time zone as myself, I'm in Johannesburg, South Africa. Good afternoon, good people. And if you happen to prefer good evening, I still say good evening, good people. It's just me having a chat with you over a glass of water, a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or whatever you want to have with you, if it is wine. But I'm not alone, as usual. This is Mindset Monday, where we talk about the AEIOU of personal transformation. And I am with my sister from the other side of the continent, from the other side of the world, from Germany, Nuremberg. And it is none other than Motsemme. She is a freedom illuminator, a healthy functional relationships intuitive coach, a transformational speaker, and her capacity here is just to be your sister, having a conversation with you over perhaps a box of popcorn, whatever you would like to share with us as we are spending this time. So today we're going to be talking about the final vowel in the AEIOU of personal transformation. Welcome to everyone, and remember to interact with us so that we can identify that you are here. And please, if you happen to be on Facebook and you would like us to know who is chatting to us, remember to give StreamYard permission to read the author of the comment. Khawo, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, good day, good night, good evening, wherever you are. I am so grateful to be here as always.
Wonderful. It's been a 5 weeks, which has been fun-filled but transformational in the true sense of the word as well, because the intention of providing information on this platform is it goes beyond just entertaining people, but the intention is really to go into a space where people use the information, get inspired to act on it so that they can have their lives healed. How you know that I usually say to you, I have a dream that one day everyone will come to a space where they live a life they love. And that begins with getting information that's going to help them transform, heal the wounds of the past, navigate their way forward so that they can move from where they are, create a paradigm shift in their lives, and move to live a life of their dreams. And this is something that you share with me, don't you?
Yes, that's what I share, to be who we really are, and as in a world where there is a lot of information, it's another thing to just go around collecting information and not acting on it. And this is also the difference between knowing, real knowing, and just the I know from the head, because at times you just collect and okay, fine, I know. You come across something, okay, I know, but does your life show that you really know? Because if you know your life will be transforming, there should be some changes in your life. And I am actually with you in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand you to be talking to the congruence between what you know, what you do, who you are, and what you do as a result of the information and the knowledge that you have is what assists in creating that transformation. As a matter of fact, I've just reminded that you call yourself a transformational speaker, and a person might ask, what is a transformational speaker? You are talking about information right now, but you are talking about a transformational speaker. What exactly is this about? And of course, there is a
Yeah, I
hierarchy
love
that a hierarchy that says from the information that you have. Somebody asked, one of my friends that I also had on Mindset Monday one Tuesday, asked if what is more important to you between personal development and the institutional learning, which is the traditional pieces of information that come as a result of the certification. And so this created some kind of a debate on Facebook about which one is more important. And I could tell that some of the people that were interacting did not really embrace and understand the difference between that kind of information and the kind of information that relates to personal development. So I'm going to talk about information, which is the first level. Information is really anything that you find in a book. So many people will read a book and they will even tell you what is in the book of Genesis as opposed to what the book of Leviticus or whatever says. What is on chapter 1 of what book as opposed to what is on chapter 17. And they will bring all of these things together, these facts, and toggle from one to the other, juxtapose and tell you an analysis and what it means to them, but they will not do anything without information. So that's hierarchical level number one. And then there is the motivational level. Tell me a little bit about the motivational one.
I would like to talk about that information part as well, because as much as we are receiving information, our understanding of the information depend on where we are. This is why I always ask, from which level, which eyes are you really seeing things? When you read, which mental capacity are you really using to interpret or to perceive whatever that you come across? If you are coming from the wounded self, the fearful self, you're going to understand something different from someone who's coming from love. So we can read the same thing, but understand it differently. This is why even affirmations are very effective. I love them, but they don't work for all of us. Why? Because some of us, we have some really deep wounds. It's just crazy. You can try an affirmation, but there's some roots where you are rooted, where there's wounds really needs to be dealt with before you can bring an affirmation. For someone who had a much lovely foundation, it's an affirmation is bound to work much easier and faster than someone who their roots are really kind of like crazy out there. Yeah. So when you talk about, like, for instance, you mentioned information and motivation. I don't know if you meant to talk about the transformation part. Yeah, because as I said, there is a lot of information, and I love the positivity which most of us we are riding on since this whole law of attraction thing. Who doesn't want to attract some positive stuff? So we always push to be positive. We always push to be seen. Actually, it's not to be positive, to be seen as positive. And what do? We resist who we are. We resist how we feel. We don't want to deal with that because I want you to perceive me as a positive person. And the work that I deal with, it's show up as you are. Because for you to really receive the help that you need, you have to be authentic with where you at, where you are. If you look at your life and say, this is shit, I feel like crap, certain person made me feel like, however, whatever language you use where you are at, show up as that, because you're going to get help from that level. But if I show up as a positive, I have it all together kind of thing, which is also bullshit, as long as you are here on earth, walking this earth, we all have those emotions, which they're beautiful. It's a song. It goes up and it's down, and that's the beauty of being human. So for me, it's the transformation that I talk about, that I teach, that when I go into the healing, is to embrace all that we are, be authentic. And when we look in there, like for instance, when I work with people, I deal with releasing all the emotions that are there. There is also at times some spirit attachments and all that. There's a lot of things that at times lead to certain behavior or how we feel, even depression, even some like deep negativity that we find ourselves in. At times it's not like it's just you who's showing up like that. At times it's some entities that are attached onto you and all that. So these are the things that you can hold into an affirmation, but it's not going to do much, you understand? Because you have other voices that are not really yours, besides the voices of the influences we had from our parents, society, and all that. So when I talk about transformation, I talk about dealing with all this aspect that most of them are not in your conscious mind. It's just being who you are so that the right help can come through. But being who you are with an openness to say, I am willing to really get out of this. I am willing to find to find myself, to find the joy that I see other people living. It's not to fake and hide our real self behind an illusion of safety, an illusion of positivity and all that. That's my transformation that I talk about.
I completely agree with you on the space of where you come from, and that determines how you're going to relate to affirmations. There are times when I find affirmations to be to be working very effective for me, but then there would be some voice that creates an inner conflict with the other still small voice that is talking to me when I will say, I am beautiful. And it reminds me of the things that have happened to me that tell me that I'm actually not deserving of calling myself beautiful or things like that. And then that is when I turn into some kind of a question instead of an affirmation, a question that's going to allow me to go into my safe haven, to go within, into that deep and come out. And of course, as a motivational speaker, a person of that caliber is just going to create the vibe, the hype that people are going to have. And an inspirational speaker, which is the next level, is the one that's going to sort of trigger the audience to act. However, as a transformational speaker, you go on to that level of authenticity. Get a person to deal and heal from the issues that are sitting and embedded in there, and then you bring them up having been transformed or transforming, because obviously it is something that is evolving. So you already spoke about authenticity. Welcome everyone. Sanda, say hello ladies. Hello, Sanda. Pindile says good evening ladies. Good evening, good people. And Laftonson says, greetings, beautiful ladies. I am here for another balancing and alignment session. It is all
I love
balance.
that.
Indeed. So we spoke about authenticity as your A word, and then we had the second word, which is the E, which was embrace, and your I word was, remind me,
Intuition.
intuition.
Intuition. Mm-hmm.
And of course, being an intuitive coach, it only makes sense to bring that up. And of course, last Monday, we had your O word, which
Which was
was
oneness.
one.
Oneness.
And I had alive, energy, identity, and I had observe. So, what are you having now with the oneness that is linked to the intuition, which is linked to embrace, which is linked to authenticity?
Unapologetic.
Unapologetic.
And it's funny because just before the call, I started feeling some emotions about this word, unapologetic. And as much as it's something that I'm really a big fan of being unapologetic. That's why I've created a course, Be Unapologetic, a program that deals with that, where I'm using the 4 pillars that are really authenticity, a path to freedom. Because I believe authenticity, if you're authentic, you can be yourself. That's when you can really breathe the air and not be scared of who's going to come. Are they going to find something hidden or something like that? And the other one is claiming your divine power, because we are born with a personality, and you chose that personality on a soul level for a reason. You chose to be that. And for me, when you claim your power, as if you're a woman, and say, I claim my power as my woman, I am choosing to be who I am, and the personality that comes with that, that's claiming your power. I mean, they speak for themselves, these pillars, and reboot your confidence. I mean, if you are yourself, really, the confidence just flows through, because you don't have to wear a mask. This is what we normally talk about, and then reignite your passion. Because I believe as human beings, as much as we come here and go through the system that you mentioned, like the one where we go to school and where we learn that we are not intelligent, or we are intelligent, or we are good in maths or science or whatever that we learn and all that, as much as we go there, I believe that we come here with abilities. We have gifts and abilities. And when you look at the personality that we have chosen on a soul level, we chose that for a reason. And this is why, even when I got back to claim your divine power, I believe your power really lies when you align your personality with the soul. I believe when you are there, it's just like things start just happening. And I felt emotional when I thought about being unapologetic, because I'm the kind of person who, I have a very strong personality. It doesn't matter what I do, I can just show up and people can get can get offended without me doing anything. You understand? It's something. It's who I've been born in a rural area, in a traditional setting where people respect what other people think and all that. For me, it was always wrong for me to be me, and I grew up with that. I've been aware of that. So for me, when I get into a room, for a long time, I've been checking the temperature. I'm like, okay, it's 20 degrees. I have to maybe be 18 or 19.5 or 19.8 just to fit the temperature in the room, So I have been showing up, apologizing for who I am. And since I started doing the work and using these 4 pillars that I mentioned, I just don't care. I get it there. It's 20 degrees. I'm showing up with 30. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with leading and saying, this is how I am. This is who I am. So I felt unapologetic because coming from a rural area, and not even fitting there, being wrong, there is a part of me that felt like I have to wear a mask so that I can fit in. Is it okay to be me? You understand? So it makes me emotional because there is a lot of masks that I had to take along the way so that I can finally just show up as me and embrace all that I am and give people who I am. And those people who are not ready to really accept the energy, the love, the beauty, and all that I am, then they're okay. It means they're not for my highest good and I'm not for the highest good. I cannot serve them and they cannot serve me. So it's fine. I understand we are not for everybody. And this is a stage when you own it, you don't really apologize. You show up and you don't care whether someone says, oh, you can't get that. You know that. You know what? If it didn't work for Zoliswa, it doesn't mean that it won't work for me because I am not Zoliswa. I'm showing up as me and you know what you deserve. And that's a beautiful state to be in. Yeah.
Showing up as yourself because you are the only original that you can ever be. And if you don't do that, don't expect anybody to come and act the same way that you would have done it, because it is supposed to be done by you. You are the one that contains the energy of the original that's supposed to come and fit in this puzzle to complete it. I love that you're talking about a mask, and I'm just reminded of how it is not really exciting to be seeing people with masks on. You wish you could see a smile of the person. You wish you could see the beauty, but we have smiles which are behind masks all over. And now when we talk about having a mask which is hiding the authentic self that you are because you are apologizing for the person that you are, then that means that's not exciting really to the people that are around, because you are robbing them of the gift of who you are, because you are in this life so that you can give of yourself as the gift to complete the others. I would love to hear what other people that have joined us are saying about their you word when it comes to their journey of personal transformation, or rather their who word when it comes to their journey of personal transformation. Asanda says, unapologetic. I love this word. It's a beautiful word indeed, and it is very deep and profound in terms of its meaning. Then Lafton says, oh, how I love that. There's nothing better than being okay to be you. Even when you stand out like a sore thumb, and you will stand up, you have to stand up because you are not a copy of anyone else. You are supposed to be you, and you shouldn't apologize, because when people look upon you and they see the uniqueness and they see the message that you bring, then they are going to have their lives touched in a special way, and they will find a way of moving from where they are to a different level of their lives in a specific faculty or in a specific aspect that you are meant to serve them on. So, unapologetic. We're going to talk a little bit more about your program, Unapologetically You, slightly later. But before that, let me tell you about my own word. And this word came to me in the course of the week. Last week, after our session on Monday, I was just feeling cold, so I decided to go during the day, go to bed, warm myself, and listen to the energy, listen to the universe, hear what the universe wants to say to me. And I started seeing things that were always there, but I was not aware of them, and I did not necessarily attach any meaning to them. And one of those things that I saw is this one. Oh, by the way, this is my trophy. for my book in the inspirational category, the book. So what I saw from here is a key. And I looked around, I saw a bunch of keys, our set of master keys, and everything that had to do with the keys suddenly happened to be around me. And I realized that my U word would have to be unlock. And why am I choosing this word, or why am I allowing myself to use this word unlock? Because I believe that is a word that has been put inside of me so that I can pass a message on. We live in our lives in a space where either there are boundaries for us to get to the other side, where freedom lies, where happiness lies, or we have doors that are barricading between where we are and the rooms that we would like to go into. And I thought about the caretaker of a building, whether it is a school or it's a dormitory or whatever it is, where you are trying to gain access to a specific room. And you can't gain access to that room because you don't have the key with you. And something just said to me, who have you consulted? If you have tried to open a certain door and you realize that the key that you have on you does not open the door that you are trying to gain access to, have you contacted the master that has the master keys? Because that master resides inside of you. You know, in the Christian space, and I'm a born again Christian, before you tell me that I have fallen, no, I haven't fallen, I'm still a born again Christian. We say in that space that I have accepted Jesus, he lives inside of me. And I'm saying God lives inside of me. So when I talk about heaven, when I say the God that acts in heaven, I talk about here. Because inside here, in between my breasts, is where I pointed when I want to connect to the higher power, the spirit, the universe, the space, the presence that I decide to call God. So when I say, who have you contacted? I'm saying that the master who holds the master keys is the one that resides inside of you, the one that speaks to you with a still small voice. Have you consulted and asked for the set of keys or the bunch of keys that will enable for you to try all, so that you can see which of these keys is going to fit the door that you are going to open so that you can go in? Because in that room is where your success lies. In that room is where the expression of your value will turn into the manifestation that will generate the returns that you would like to see. And then there is the other side of this key. And this is when I am inside a room that I feel imprisoned on. And this happened to me on Friday. Something happened that reminded me that actually, girl, you are in prison and you need to do something about coming up out of the prison that you have kept yourself in. There, I don't need to call the master who is on the other side, the caretaker who is on the other side of the building, because the key is actually sitting in my pocket. And all that I need to do is to take action. And this goes to what I said at the beginning with you, Khao, when I said that sometimes information is at our disposal, but we don't use the information so as to create a shift in our lives. We are held up by the old paradigms that we have always believed things to be the way they are because we have been conditioned as such. And therefore, we are fearful of what lies on the other side of that barrier, on the other side of that boundary, because we are saying, what if it doesn't work? And right now, I've come to introduce the key and say, open that door. If you look around you and you see the walls, you don't just get comfortable and say, it's the walls, there's nothing that I can do about it. You keep looking for the door, because for every wall, or at least 4 sides of walls that you're going to find in your life, there will be an area that has an opening. Whether that opening comes in the form of the window just for you to peep, or it's going to come in the form of the door, but that is the softer area that you can manipulate, capitalize on, so that you can go onto the other side. Because the difference, the change that you would like to see in your life lies on the other side of that door. And if it doesn't work, you are still unapologetically you, because the only way for you to know that it did not work is that you will have tried it. If you haven't tried it, you can never say it is not going to work. You tried it, then you realize that it doesn't work, but then the universe is going to say, give you feedback that says that is not how you do it. There is an alternative way of doing it. We are in a game of life. We continue in this game of love, living the waves that Rao was talking about. And it is those waves that help us to be elevated and to grow in our consciousness, because that is what we are in this world for. We are here to recreate ourselves anew, to become the better and grander versions of ourselves in this chosen space that we find ourselves in. So I see Pindile says that my word is unique, uniquely me, because there is no one else. Even if you are an identical twin or you have an identical twin, no one else is like you and has got everything that has been given to you so that you can play your role here. Wow! Laftonton also says my you is unique. There was even a dance song in the 80s that went unique. That's what you are. Unique, you one of a kind. Oh, I remember that. Did I just sell my age away? I remember that song. And of course, Leftonton says, we share it. I have Asanda saying unlock. Oh, yes, I love it. It's a beautiful word indeed. And or if only we use those keys so that we can find ourselves on the other side of where we are at this stage. Abigail says unleashed, a rocket that has been launched. And she usually says to me, you cannot unlaunch a rocket. If it has been launched, it goes and it is directed to where it's supposed to be. If anything goes wrong and it has to come back, it will be relaunched, but that would be a different launch. You cannot unlaunch something that you have already launched. You cannot undo or unring the bell, as my partner used to say. You cannot unring the bell, because that sound of the bell is always going to ring in your mind, because it had manifested itself. So that's my word for today. My word is unlock. What do you unlock? You unlock the power inside of you. You unlock the potential inside of you. Back in the day when I used to be in corporate before my retirement, I used to have issues in the space of the development of people, with managers that will tell you that an employee has potential, but they are not ready. People that are regarded as having perpetual potential, potential that will never be unleashed, because they are just sitting with this potential. They are being identified, and there's potential that has turned to stink, because it is not given an opportunity to flourish, to manifest, and to come out of there and become something. So when we're talking about unlocking, we unlock the potential that is stored there to turn it into the outcome that is desired from that potential. You unlock the power, you unlock the real you, the authentic you. You unlock the person that you are when you have nobody to impress, when you have nobody looking, when you don't care about what kind of a judgment you are going to receive. And that is what we call happiness, when you live your life unapologetically. That's my word.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Unlock. Because I did a video also talking about the key that we have, because we grow up in a world, like I love what Queen said about being okay with standing out. We live in a world where we somehow there is a level that has been set, how you have to be, who you are, the capacity that you can grow, especially as women. There is a lot of things that we have to meet out there. This is why now you can see that when someone does something that is not normal, as we call it, people, or even us as women, we can sit and talk about it. There is there is a level that we have to reach, and we can't go beyond that. There's certain capacity that we cannot reach. So due to whatever the society, whatever our culture has defined for us, most of the time we just want to be that. We don't want to be different. That's why I say there's a problem with apathy, and again, with the key, like you said, unlock, we have this perception or mindset that someone has to give us permission. This is why when we talk about the wounded child, that for a long time we were looking up to our parents and the society and all that. That's why we bought into whatever beliefs that were brought into us, whatever that influenced us, and we took it as our own. And at times we don't even realize that we are not living our lives. And even when you look at the religions, for instance, it's not common for a long time that you like every one of us had that God within. Everyone of us has that inner intelligence, that wisdom that we can always reach out to. We've been conditioned to believe that there is someone who has the powers. There is a priest. You have to go to a priest. And this is the whole illusion that I feel even with church. I don't know, you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I believe that even with churches and all that, we go to church because it's like we believe that there is something that going to church does to us. What we don't realize is that whether you go to a church or whatever community that you go to, you are bringing each and every one of you to make that church or that community what is. And the question is, who is showing up and how are you showing up and what are you willing to contribute? You are not going there to get something. You are going to bring all of you together so that there can be a certain outcome that is reached by all of you. Come with an intention. If it means connecting more to that inner wisdom within, that inner intelligence, that God within, so be it. But you are not going to the church so that the church can change you. You are not going there because now there is a priest, there is more energy that is going to come through or anything. No, you are bringing who you are. So when you talk about the key, these are the things that are coming through to say for a long time we're waiting for permission from someone, yet we have the key. And as I said, at times we don't even need the key. We are the key. You understand? We are the key. We just have to show up. When you show up and unlock, open those doors, actually. Because when you show up, it's just like, it's your unique signature that shows up. And when you come through, that door just opens and you show up. And I believe this is what we have to really cultivate within ourselves and know that we don't need permission from anyone. We are unique, as it has been said. We are born with those gifts that we are here to share. And talking about that, because there was a time many years ago when I was asking, when I had the spirit on my case and it was like, how it's time. But I was not sure. Okay, fine. What the hell am I supposed to do? And I show up and talk to people. What do I say? Am I gonna, what do I say about the work that I'm here to bring? And they said, just tell them you are bringing a new way of being. This is what you're here to share with other people. And how many of us for a long time have been playing small because we do not fit in? How many of us have condemned ourselves because of our uniqueness? You understand? And we were not here to fit in. We were not here to conform. This is what I was just told. And I believe it's not my truth, or I was not told that because I'm the only one. Everyone who is walking this earth, we came here to say we are going to break down those old paradigms that are not serving us anymore. We are here to create a new way of being. And that new way of being can only be created by you showing up fully as you, unapologetic, knowing that you have all that within you. But the challenge, as always, I don't want to put a blind eye on that, because we've had experiences, we have been conditioned to believe in a certain way, and it's not easy for you to just wake up and go like, okay, fine, I am God. Then you're just gonna hear that voice saying that's not true. It was funny the other time, I was affirming that, and I mean, really, I had this voice saying, not really. I was like, okay, then I had to sit and converse with this voice in me that is bringing all this. And for you to be able to really hear that voice, to hear yourself, all those programs, all those aspects of yours that you have from different ages, from different environments and all that, you have to sit with whatever wounds that we have. Different wounds, we have created different aspects because we wanted to be safe in a world where it's not okay for us to be us. So we have built or created this protective mechanism. And now this is what we have to okay and understand, that who you are is enough, and that wisdom lives inside of you, to understand and really embody that truth, and know that it doesn't matter if you are a woman. It doesn't mean, actually, it's funny because I'm just being reminded of this conversation that I had with this other man some years ago, who were talking about the church and the role of a woman. Because for a long time I've been told many times that, oh, because my life was also a mess, like it was just a mess, and most of the time I was just told, oh, because you're not doing what you came here to do, you're not doing what you came here to do, you're not, those kind of thing, which was so many things. And whether it's being a priest or whatever, it was in the rules that existed, and I did not agree with those rules, because I felt like, as a woman, even if I go there, there's a position that has already been sort of set to say, this is how far you can go, this is what you can do. So I had a problem with that, and with being a shaman or a traditional healer, because that also exists in me and in my lineage. I had a problem as well, because it's like there were rules to say this is how it has to be done, and I was like, no, I want my own way. I want my own way where I can be free to be me. So I had a conversation with a man the other time. It was a debate about a woman, what the Bible says about a woman, and what a woman can be and cannot be, especially when it comes to churches and all that. There is still a problem, even though there are women who are priests leading a church and all that, but there is still that resistance. They're just doing it because they are choosing to be the ones who brings this up first. You understand? So I've had that argument with this man, but being stubborn, because it's a character that the personality that I also chose, so that I am not easily influenced to be something that I'm not. And as much as I said from the beginning that I was apologizing, and I found it wrong, and even in a meditation, there was a time when the voice came through and said, I know you hate me. And that was after I had a debate with someone. And after that, I was like, but was it necessary? Why did you even speak up like that? So this aspect showed up and said, I know you hate me. And this is the aspect that I have resisted for a long time. And this is the aspect that is speaking right now. This is the aspect that is able to go on stage. This is the aspect that is leading people to really discover who they really are. And now tell me, if I resisted this huge part of me that had these amazing gifts, where would I be, and how would I be feeling right now? I would still be feeling small, frustrated, and all that, because I am. And this aspect of mine, it's not all like good light and all that. It has its own darkness aspect, and also not only from this lifetime, even other lifetimes where we did some dark things. When you talk about dark and light, we are all that. We've done all those things. So the bad and the wrong way and all that, that's just BS. Then we're gonna get where we have, because our soul has chosen to be here. Whether you're gonna accomplish that in that lifetime or whatever, the whole thing is you're gonna get there. Whether you're gonna go around in circles somewhere, you're gonna end up being there, or you can just turn inwards and really follow the guidance that is coming within, that is going to lead you where you want to go, and at the same time deal with this darkness or whatever that you call it, this aspects of you that you have turned your back against because you were told they are not okay, and you feel like it's not okay for me to show this because it's not accepted. We have learned that. Other people denied that. You're told who you are is too much. You are told you are not intelligent. You are told as a woman you cannot take any leadership role. You are told your gifts are not gifts because they are not intellectual. If you were failing at school, who can you really be? You understand? So that's why we had to wear an intellectual mask. We're not supposed to feel our emotions because it's not safe. We can't be vulnerable. Otherwise, people are going to manipulate us. Because we thought we've identified the love and all that with something that is just nice, like, because at times we have been way too nice. We wanted to be loved, so we had to be nice, because when you speak your truth, you are not a nice person. So it's scary, because you become naked, and there are people who are not really ready to accept that aspect of you. There are people who do not want to hear the truth. So when you get there, you can just freeze and go back to your normal habits.
Yeah, and going back to your normal habits means that you are not playing full out. I have to apologize. I've just realized that there are people whose messages I haven't been seeing because seem to have some technical glitches. There's a page that's not showing here. So let me go on to that Facebook screen. When I look up there, I'm looking on the big screen to see what people are saying on the Zoliswa Tshetshe profile. And Belu Mabandla says, power. Yes, yes. Thank you, Belu. We love to have you here. Tule says, unleashed is mine. Unleashed is her word. Unleashed really is a very important word that comes through. She's not the only one, because we cannot continue keeping that potential where it is. We have to unleash it and let it spiral upward. Then Zintle Brukwe says, my word is unlimited. Infinity. From here to infinity. It is just never ending. Thank you so much for joining us, Zintle. We appreciate everybody. There is Lafton who says, yo, I just had a picture of a sliding door that automatically opens as I approach it. And it will only open when you approach it. Imagine if you're just sitting where you are and you just decide that you want to think about an opening sliding door, but you don't take action, a step that is putting a foot in front of another in the direction of the sliding door, not knowing how you're going to open that sliding door, because the ideas, the insights come only when you get to that step that's going to say, well done, you are now here. Here is the opening of the sliding door so that you can get through to the other side.
Can I just just give a confirmation to Tling, because I'm just getting a lot of things that are happening to me. But just to give you a heads up on that, be prepared, be open to go through that door, because it is not just a picture of a sliding door. It is what is really happening. Opportunities are showing up for you, so go for them.
Yes, yes, opportunities are showing up. There it comes from the spirit, permeated through the mouth of Gawo, all the way to you, Tintin. Now, it's session 5 of 5. Really, it's episode 5 of 5 in this current season. And people are likely to say, you're giving us information. You're actually taking us into a dungeon. You're taking us into a deep, but you are not telling us how do we get out of there. Earlier on, and I keep saying this, that we can have all the information that we want up until such time that we do something about that information in an effort to change our lives. Then we will remain the same way as we are. Tell us about Unapologetically You. You said you have a program, coaching program, healing program called Unapologetically You that has 4 pillars. You're going to tell us about your 4 pillars in 4 minutes before the end of today's.
It's funny because I intended to give you a link of this program, but I guess you'll share it afterwards. Yeah, and I don't know. I have to talk about this before I can go there, because you spoke about potential and the potential that we have to unleash. I love that word. And what came through, which has been my life experience for a long time, is that having these abilities that I did not embrace, there is a part of me that saw potential in other people. And therefore, there's a pressure that I put on my family, on going after whatever and be themselves and really make it in life. And then comes relationship. I fell in love with potential. I fell in love with potential because I was somehow resisting the potential in me. So that is coming through to say, are you willing to embrace and unleash your own potential? Are you willing to be your own project? Not to be in a relationship with someone and push someone to be something. Because for someone to either follow you and really unleash their own potential, you have to lead. And that takes me to this Unapologetically You program, which deals with 4 pillars. As I mentioned, authenticity, your path to freedom. Claim your divine power. Confidence reboot, and reignite your passion. Reignite your passion, we deal with your purpose. It comes in the last 3 weeks. The whole program is 90 days. That means 12 weeks. So for 3 weeks each, we're gonna be going deep on this on these 4 pillars that I mentioned. And there is a lot of healing that is happening. We don't just talk. We do the healing. Like I said, even when I was sitting here, this is why I spoke to Kling. I feel some presence coming through. So if you feel it within you to say that there is time, I feel I want to be more of me. I want to be unapologetic. I want to live a passionate life, not only at work, but also to bring that passion to your private life, to your personal life, to be sensual woman, to embrace all your sexuality and all that, because we are all that. You know, we cannot apologize and live in the illusion of safety, be driven away by the illusion of comfort, which is really, like I said, a long-term pain. You know, most of the times we don't want to do anything because I'm comfortable where I am. I don't want to grow. And of course, when you take a step, you're gonna feel you're gonna feel challenged because it's something new. You are going out of that box or boundaries that you have been living in. And I want you to come with me and be afraid, because I am okay with you being afraid. I know how it is to be afraid. I know how it is to play small. I have been there. And this is why I am really capable of holding the space for you from compassion, but at the same time, leading you to the outcome that you desire, to the outcome that your soul is calling forth.
That's profound indeed. And if anybody wishes to take you further on that, the website to go to www.motsemme.org. Otherwise, you can get hold of Khawo on social media, which is Khawo Motsemme, and you will be able to follow.
We'll share the link. We'll share the link for the course specifically. Yeah.
Yes, we'll share the link at all of the pages that we are all 3 pages that we are broadcasting on right now. So this was the U in the AEIOU of personal transformation, and it was episode 5 of 5. We trust that you have found value in it and that you will be taking this upon you to find a way of applying it in your life and creating a shift in your life. Before you say it doesn't work, before you remain with everything that you believe in the same way that you've always believed in it, try it, apply it in your life so that you can validate and come back and tell us how it is like. I can tell you now.
Share with us what stood out for you.
Love hearing from you. We definitely love hearing from you. And then we will be coming to you with a brand new season. I promised in one of the sessions when I was alone, Khawo was not there, now I'm putting her on the spot, that I will be doing some teaching on my book, which is now an award-winning book. It has 10 chapters. So we will take a chapter a week, and we're going to talk about the principles of that chapter, what it means to you, and how you get your life transformed as we are talking about that. So we're going to start with that on Mindset Monday next week, same time, same place. I guess we will be hosting it at the same pages. If we happen to have any change in terms of where we'll be broadcasting it from, we will let you know. Up until then, we wish to have you transform and spiral upward and move from where you are to the next level of your life, because this is only the beginning. And as I always say, I say it again today, the best is yet to come. Have a good evening.